The future was here. A world where technology could touch your thoughts, your dreams. It was a double-edged sword. On one side, progress. On the other, a chilling possibility: control.
Daniel, a young programmer at NovaTech, lived on the cutting edge of this new world. He poured his heart into New Aura, a device promising to revolutionize mental health. It was supposed to soothe anxieties, quiet the noise of modern life. I believed in its potential. I believed I was making a difference. I had no idea how wrong I was.
One late night, while sifting through lines of code, Daniel stumbled upon a hidden folder. Black Mind. The name sent shivers down his spine. Curiosity warred with caution. He clicked. The files within were like nothing Daniel had ever seen. Complex algorithms, twisted and warped. This wasn't therapy, this was manipulation. Raw power over the human mind. Fear constricted his chest. What had he stumbled upon?
I had to tell someone. Emily, my closest friend at NovaTech, came to mind. She was sharp, intuitive, and wouldn't dismiss my concerns. I sent her a coded message, a breadcrumb trail leading to the Black Mind folder. I waited, heart pounding.
No response came. Emily, who always replied within minutes, was gone. Her phone went straight to voicemail. A knot of dread tightened in Daniel's stomach. He knew with chilling certainty that he was no longer dealing with a simple bug in the system. He was staring into the abyss. Days turned into a blur of anxiety and suspicion. Each moment felt like an eternity, every shadow a potential threat. Daniel's once peaceful life had become a relentless cycle of fear and uncertainty. Daniel couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes tracking his every move. The sensation was omnipresent, a constant reminder that his privacy was a thing of the past. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the lights, seemed to whisper of hidden observers. The lines between reality and paranoia began to blur. Was it his mind playing tricks? Or was there truly something sinister lurking in the shadows? The distinction grew hazy, leaving him in a perpetual state of doubt and fear.
Was that a shadow shifting at the edge of my vision, or just my fear playing tricks? Every fleeting glimpse, every unexpected sound sent shivers down my spine. The fear was palpable, a constant companion in the dark. I dove deeper into the Black Mind project, risking everything to piece together its sinister purpose. The codes were intricate, the data vast, but I was determined to uncover the truth. Each discovery brought me closer to understanding the malevolent force behind it all. The more I learned, the more horrified I became. This wasn't just about controlling thoughts, it was about erasing them, rewriting them, bending people to someone else's will. The implications were terrifying, a dystopian nightmare come to life. And I was trapped in the web, the spider closing in. The more I struggled, the tighter the web became, ensnaring me in its intricate design. Escape seemed impossible, the predator always one step ahead.
The threat started subtly. Deleted files, cryptic messages on his screen, the feeling of someone standing just behind him, a breath away. It was as if the very air around him had turned hostile, charged with unseen malice. Then they escalated. His apartment door was forced open while he was gone. The sanctity of his home violated, his sense of security shattered. It was a clear message. They could reach him anywhere, anytime. His phone was tapped. He was running out of time. Every call, every message monitored and scrutinized. The walls were closing in, the noose tightening. Desperation set in, the clock ticking down to an inevitable confrontation. Panic threatened to consume him, but Daniel clung to the last vestiges of hope.
I have to get the truth out, expose Black Mind for what it truly is. But who can I trust? Who will believe me?
The world saw NovaTech as a beacon of progress, not a breeding ground for mind control. He couldn't fight this alone. He needed help, but reaching out meant putting others in danger. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him, suffocating.
One wrong move and everything I've worked for, everything Emily had risked, would be for nothing.
He had to make a choice: disappear, vanish into the shadows like Emily, or stand his ground and fight. The decision felt impossible, the stakes unbearably high. But deep down, a spark of defiance flickered.
I won't let them win. I won't let them silence me.
Daniel knew time was running out. The seconds seemed to slip through his fingers like grains of sand in an hourglass, each tick of the clock echoing louder in his mind. He could almost feel the weight of every passing moment pressing down on him, a constant reminder of the urgency of his mission. He had to act fast before they silenced him like they had silenced Emily. The memory of her last message haunted him, her voice trembling with fear and desperation. She had uncovered something big, something that could bring NovaTech to its knees, but they had gotten to her first. Now it was up to Daniel to finish what she had started.
I need to get the word out, but how? The usual channels were compromised, and every move he made was being watched. He couldn't trust anyone, not even those who claimed to be on his side. The walls were closing in, and his options were dwindling by the second. The media, the police, they were all too easily controlled, their thoughts already infiltrated by NovaTech's insidious influence. He had seen it happen before. Good people turned into puppets, their strings pulled by unseen hands. He couldn't let that happen to him. They're all too easily controlled, their thoughts already infiltrated by NovaTech's insidious influence. The corporation's reach was vast, its power seemingly limitless. It was like fighting a shadow, an enemy that could strike from anywhere and disappear without a trace.
There was only one option left, a desperate gamble. He had to use their own technology against them. It was a risky move, one that could backfire spectacularly, but it was the only chance he had. He had to hack into New Aura, use its platform to broadcast the truth to the world. He had to use their own technology against them. The irony was not lost on him. NovaTech's greatest strength could also be its greatest weakness. If he could just find the right angle, the right vulnerability, he could turn the tide in his favor. He had to hack into New Aura, use its platform to broadcast the truth to the world. It was a long shot, fraught with danger, but it was the only chance he had. The stakes were higher than ever, and failure was not an option. The world needed to know the truth, and he was the only one who could reveal it. It was a long shot, fraught with danger, but it was the only chance he had. The odds were stacked against him, and the margin for error was razor thin. But he couldn't let fear paralyze him. He had to move forward, one step at a time, trusting in his skills and his instincts.
I have to be faster, smarter than them. Every second counted, and he couldn't afford to make a single mistake. The pressure was immense, but he thrived under it. This was his element, the digital battlefield where he had always felt most alive. I have to expose the darkness lurking beneath the shiny surface of NovaTech's promises. The world saw a benevolent corporation, a beacon of progress and innovation. But Daniel knew the truth. He had seen the corruption, the lies, the lives destroyed in the name of profit, and he was determined to bring it all to light.
He worked feverishly, the weight of the world on his shoulders. Every keystroke was a race against time, every line of code a prayer whispered into the digital void. He could feel the eyes of NovaTech's enforcers on him, their presence a constant shadow at the edge of his awareness. Every keystroke was a race against time, every line of code a prayer whispered into the digital void. He knew that one wrong move could spell disaster, but he couldn't let that stop him. He had to keep going, had to push through the fear and the doubt. The truth was out there, waiting to be uncovered, and he was the only one who could find it. The plan was in motion. Every detail meticulously crafted, every step carefully calculated. Daniel had spent countless nights poring over data, analyzing every possible outcome. He knew the risks, but he also knew the stakes. This was more than just a mission, it was a fight for freedom, for truth. Daniel had injected his message into New Aura, the most secure network in the world. It was a digital fortress, but he had found a way in. His message was a beacon of hope, a call to arms for those who had been silenced for too long. A ticking time bomb set to detonate in the heart of NovaTech's empire. The countdown had begun, and there was no turning back. Every second brought them closer to the moment of truth. He could only hope it was enough. The weight of the world rested on his shoulders, but he was not alone. There were others scattered across the city, ready to rise up when the time came.
I hope people will listen, that they will hear the truth in my words. We have been lied to, manipulated, controlled, but no more. It's time to take a stand, that they will see the truth hidden in plain sight. The clues are there if you know where to look. We must open our eyes, see beyond the illusions.
He knew they were coming for him. The shadows were closing in, the hunters becoming the hunted. Every move he made was watched, every step tracked. He could feel their presence closing in, the cold breath of their pursuit on his neck. The fear was palpable, but he couldn't afford to falter, not now. But he had planted a seed of doubt, of rebellion. It was small, but it was growing. People were starting to question, to wonder, and that was the first step. And sometimes that's all it takes. A single spark to ignite a fire, a whisper to start a revolution, a single spark to ignite a fire. The flames of change were spreading, and there was no stopping them now.
They control your thoughts. Don't believe the lies. Fight back. We have the power to change our destiny, to reclaim our minds.
As the sirens wailed in the distance, Daniel clung to the belief that his actions would make a difference. The city was waking up, the people were stirring. The time for change was now. That Emily's sacrifice wouldn't be in vain. She had given everything for this cause, and he would not let her down. Her memory was a beacon guiding him forward. The future was uncertain, the path ahead fraught with danger, but they were ready. They had each other, and they had the truth. But one thing was clear. The fight for the human mind had just begun. The battle lines were drawn, and there was no turning back. The truth could not be silenced.